Resources are now being automatically transported between Alpha Andromedae 4 and Alpha Andromedae 2. So I believe I owe you all a story at last. And we have some solar belts to expand. Not to mention some additional tasks as we begin this episode. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Dyson Sphere Program in our Alpha Andromedae series. First things first, I would like to make a change. Wait a minute. Did I see some green belt there? Did I see some green belt there? It's the green belt on top, but okay, we'll fix that later. The first thing I want to change is just kind of a further improvement to the oil situation right here. So what I'm going to do is we're actually going to move that storage. I'm also going to move that solar plant, or that solar panel. So let's go ahead and put you like there-ish. Actually, we'll do one better. Let's be like right there. And so now I'm going to delete these, and we're going to rebuild those storages I just deleted approximately right here. Oh, it looks like the solar panel might still be a little bit too close. Let's move it a little farther. As long as it stays on that line, I'm happy with it. All right, that should be good. So we're going to put the storage... Oh, maybe it was the belt. It was not the solar panel. Yeah, it was the belt. Okay. So, that's done. And we are going to place this... here. So this is going to rather immediately empty out. I want to give it a moment to fully empty out before I do what I'm about to do. And I do have a little bit of fuel on me, so let's go ahead and dump that. So the oil situation has been problematic for a while, and I can fix it by adding a little bit of prioritization to this situation. We've discussed this in the comments a little bit. So this is really just a matter of making happen what we've already been talking about making happen. All right, so we still have a little bit of storage built in here. I'm just going to leave the one for now because I want it to fill up, and then I want, you know, oil to start going back the other direction. We don't have a ton of oil output at the moment, so we have to wait for this to fill up. So for a moment, this production chain is going to shut down while there's not oil headed that way. But this will ensure that there is a decent supply of oil going that direction. And we can reassess whether or not, you know, we need to further expand the oil production once we get there. But I just want to make sure that we are in good shape with the refined oil power plants for the foreseeable future. And you can see those belts are already fully backed up. So now that that's done, the next thing I want to do, let's take another look at what we need in order to build solar panels. We need copper, we need circuit boards, and we need silicon. I always want to call those ingots, but it's just high purity silicon. So what we're going to do with that, first of all, I have some things I can drop off here. We don't physically have to drop stuff off anymore, which is fantastic. But I'm still going to drop off what I have. You can see those ships automatically flying the resources where it needs to go. So things are going to get better and better around here. Now that I no longer need these to be mass-produced to this degree, I'm going to go ahead and limit these storages to about that. Granted, I still have some extra there. And this storage, I don't mind it filling all the way up. That's fine. So I can still upgrade a few belts here, too. I haven't... That little detail is not lost on me, so there might be a few spots that I can finish upgrading here, like these. And like that, and that. And like that. And it appears we also can upgrade that entire belt, which is the belt the paint sits on. And now we're looking much better. We still have a few resource belts that maybe could be improved. And there's the paint belt there. That belt. So a number of belts actually weren't completely done yet, but we're almost there. The nice thing is it looks like we're fully upgraded here, so we can visit Alpha Andromedae 4 now and get a number of things done. The most important thing, though, is that I want to have mass production of solar panels set up. Okay, so we are out of the item that we need, and you can see that some of those logistic spots, I've already brought those to us. We don't have any more in storage. We have Conveyor Belt Mark II in storage. Let's make sure that we're no longer demanding these at all. Yeah, I want you to just collect these from me. Just bring those in, please. And then you can bring the next level to me. So I'll plug those in there so that logistics bots can come and get them as needed. All right, so yeah, I want you to collect all of those. There we go. They're pulling them from my inventory, and they're pulling them from... That's much better. Because those don't need to be in my inventory anymore. So we're slowly working our way through using that interface a little bit more effectively. Now, what is this distributor set to? It's set to provide to Icarus. And this is set to up as I clear it completely. Let's not do that. So we want to have at least, let's say, what, 1,800 on us at all times? And now it looks like that is being brought to us. Nice. So logistics drones and logistics bots just got a little faster, and you can literally see the speed increase as we move here. Okay, so that's enough for me. Are we done, by the way, with these? Oh, we're still moving the last of them out. You can see them. I'm going to stand here just a moment and let the logistics bots do their thing. They're doing a really great job of it right now, so I can't really complain, can I? All right, so you can tell that they are more or less done. There we go, and they are now done. Anything else that I can put here? No, not quite. We have lots of computer chips, and that's handy, but... So, the next thing that I have to do is we're going to go to Alpha Andromedae 4, and we have a lot of belts we can upgrade, now that we have so many in our inventory, just automatically placed. And recall that we also have the ability to much more easily kind of shoot up to high speed as we zoom by one of our logistics vessels. That's not going to get old, by the way. At all. Ever. It doesn't. Gets even better when they start jumping around from different stars. 2 different stars. Now, do I have any additional... No, I don't. I don't have any extra hydrogen fuel rods on me, so I'll have to remember to grab some soon-ish. We're good for now, though. The funny thing is, remember, we don't even have a full complement of these transport ships built yet. We have 5 and 5 on each planet. Eventually, we can have 10 on every single interplanetary logistics station. That's a lot. That's a lot, especially when you consider that you can build multiple interplanetary logistics stations on each planet. Right now, we don't need that. I'm just perfectly happy to have the resources flying themselves back and forth to where I'm no longer shuttling things around. But we still need to attend to the resource production apparatus and set up the production of new things which are going to help us, which right now happens to be solar panels. We are not actually mass producing solar panels. I don't think we are, unless I set them up and just completely forgot about it, but I don't believe we are. But it's past time that we do, because not only do we need a second solar belt here on Alpha Andromedae 4, as I mentioned at the end of the last episode, but we also need probably an expansion to our solar belt by 100 to 200%, meaning 2 or 3 times the size of the current solar belt on Alpha Andromedae 2. So, yeah. Hi, transports. Bye, transports. Look at that. We're just taking titanium. All right, so we are almost there, and we are at full speed, too, so we're going to make a nice hard landing here. This will be fun. And Shazam. We're there. actually able to sustain flight for a bit there, despite having very low battery energy. I will need to keep an eye on that. I can't linger here too long. But we're going to expand the solar belt here, because the power situation's better, because now that we're not charging up all of those ships at once, we don't hit the capacity, level of these quite as often. So that's nice. Okay, it's unfortunate that we can't delete these underneath the logistics container like we could before. So what I'm going to do is just delete the logistics container. We're still going to allow a bit of a buffer, but we can relax a bit on those. Now, what's going on here? Interesting that I haven't set these up for export. It makes perfect sense to do so. The only thing I want to double check is, yeah, they help with Assembling Machine Mark II and with Planetary Logistics Station. So it kind of makes a lot of sense to have those exported. I mean, at the very least, I think it makes sense to have these brought to Alpha Andromedae 2. So let's do that. I don't love the situation with the lines, so I'm going to bring them this way. There we go. That's much better. Now, same deal. I'm not going to delete this now. Well, I'll delete this. Let's see if I can make this happen a little faster. Oh yeah, I need to actually set up a slot or it won't store them. So let's do that. There we go. Now, remote supply is set up, and I can physically pick up a bunch of them and just set them there. Okay, there's that. And we're done. I can delete that. And we do have... Okay. Yeah, that's... Since we're not exporting them at the moment, there's nowhere for them to go. So I guess what I'll do, just to not take up needless space in my inventory, is I'll leave a second box there for the time being. So that will also increase our power... Yep, you see it right there. So what we need to do is go ahead and get those solar generators set up. So again, these require 3 things. They require copper, they require silicon, the purified form of each, and then they require these circuit boards. So let's see what we can do about getting those done. So circuit boards are sitting here, more or less ready to be used. And then we have copper here, and that can just travel farther down. Oh yeah, I still have to upgrade belts here too, so let's not forget. Might as well go ahead and move these into the inventory proper so that I can use them. So let's just get this done while I'm looking at it, because we should have everything we need. So nice to see that speed increase. I have so many belts, I'm going to go ahead and do this. We're just going to upgrade the belts. But this should work fine. I haven't done this yet. It's a little noisy, I know. But it's worth it just to completely finish this all at once. Alright, so all of those are set. I'm just basically dragging this over every belt that I can see. Much better. Okay, there's that. Okay, we'll need to double check for little spots like that. It's probably also worth doing on our home planet, now that we have so many belts. Wow, I forgot these were coming from this far away. The titanium mine is distant. Okay. So now that that's done, we can actually get back to the matter at hand. We still have... Oh, we actually don't have that many belts left. Hold on. Hold that thought. I think we'll have enough to do this, but we just used the vast majority of our Mark III conveyor belts. That was unplanned. Let's see. Oh, I can definitely go ahead and delete this. Still want to have a buffer, but we're doing a much better job of keeping all of these. What's going on here? Interesting. Are you not outputting? Oh, I see what happened here. I did some repurposing of that production line, so I'm no longer using it for that purpose. Also, it looks like I built a storage there that I forgot about, so let's grab that. And I can use that energetic graphite as an emergency fuel source if necessary. Also, seems like I did one there as well, so we can go ahead and clear that. Okay, so we need copper. And we already have copper over here. We have silicon up here. And we have the chips. So we already have everything we need more or less in place. So if I elevate you... Perfect. All right, this is what I wanted. Let's go ahead and just move you here. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit ugly while these level out, but I think this is going to work more or less perfectly. All right, cool. Extra logistics bot carrying capacity and extra logistics drone carrying capacity. We've got a number of good technologies lined up. All right, so we need this to extend a little farther. That's fine. We don't need to have a ton of these being produced, so I don't need to use a lot of my line to make this happen. Now, the very last thing I need to bring is the copper, and this is already ready to go. Like so. And that's it. So with that in place, we just have to build an assembling machine, which I have the exact components for, thankfully, enough for just one of them. So we're going to get that built. And then we'll just have an assembling machine slowly building the solar panels that we need. And of course, we can start building our own now too, so that we can begin with the process of expanding our solar power production on both worlds. We don't have to wait on this one production building. Now, there is a possibility. Yeah, I will eventually expand this to do 2, but for now, we'll just have the 1. There we go. And we will draw in there, and draw in there. Let's go ahead and delete the excess lines for now. I'm going to leave 1 extra on the end there. And we want to make solar panels. Perfect. Now the last thing that we need is just a tiny, tiny, tiny export line. Like going right, shall we say, here. Okay, they're already being spit out. That's fantastic. So now let's just... There we go. I'll go ahead and grab those while I'm here. And then what I can do is we can visit these, because we already have a number of extra circuit boards available. We're producing more circuit boards than we know what to do with right now, because we have a good surplus of resources on this planet. So we'll grab those. We'll grab some high purity silicon. And we'll grab some copper, which we appear to have less of. Yes, we definitely have less copper. That's good to know. So, I have plenty of smelters. Oh yeah, of course we do. Look at this. Look at this. This is pitiful. Hold the heck on. This is easily resolved. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect length. Alright, so you do notice a little bit of power fluctuation there, but we've just doubled that output. Unfortunately, though, that does mean we are going to have a little bit more trouble grabbing the copper that we need in that way. So I can pull some like this. I can pull it out of the production buildings too, like that. And I can start making a whole 4. Yeah, we need a lot more copper than that. So that shortage is going to slow us down a little bit. But at the very least, what we can do with the ones that we just grabbed is we can build them. And they will help keep the power on this planet nominal. I'm not going to use any blueprints just yet. We'll do that once we have massive amounts of these. I just don't think it's sensible at the moment. We'll be out of these to build before too much longer. Plus, this approach works just fine. We're currently researching a 20, it says 20 degree distribution range. So I'm guessing maybe 20% distribution range increase. All right, that's every last one of our new solar panels. Now, remember that because we haven't actually completed a ring, these will only be helping when we are facing the sun on this side of the planet. So that's gonna make things a little bit challenging. I am noticing we're starting to back up on copper here, which is good. Let's also make sure that everything is outputting here, because I feel like... What are you short on? You're short on metal. Why are you short on metal? Because we're running out of metal. That's why. Okay. Well, in that case, let's do the same thing we did elsewhere here. We probably can... I can't do it for very far, but hold on. This would be the best way to do it. 1, 2, 3. And we'll add 5 more. I don't think it's going to let me squeeze in a line there. No, it's not. Rude. All right, so we did have to delete a little bit of power generation there. That's inconvenient. All right, and we will put this up to the 2nd level. We'll have it descend there. And reconnect. So now it's just a matter of copying this recipe, pasting it 5 times. Output, 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 output. Input, 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 input. Glorious. All right, that will hopefully help with that situation. So we're already starting to see these back up a little bit more. Also, can I build a few more solar power plants now? 2 more. I need copper in order to do that, but we are starting to grab more of those. So let's do that. So about that story. Coolest thing that's ever happened to me. Or at least the coolest thing that happened to me. The coolest thing that's ever happened to me in Dyson Sphere Program in like the mid-game. Certainly when I was new to the game. And if you have other experiences like this, I'd love to hear about them in the comments, because they're just, I think they're great stories. When I first built these transports that are flying my resources between worlds, obviously at some point you give them the ability to warp, as I've mentioned. But when I first gained that ability, I didn't quite know how to set it up. And so when I was ready for my first interstellar, not interplanetary, but interstellar resource transport, I accidentally sent one of my transports off into the void between stars at sublight speed to its destination. And I realized that unless I got some warpers to it, which I did have, especially once it had been underway for a moment, I built up a good stock of them. Unless I got some warpers to it, it would arrive at its destination planet, and it would not be able to return at light speed. It would come back at sublight. And so what I did was I set out to intercept that transport purely for fun. And I flew out into the space between stars. For whatever reason, I don't remember that I I don't recall that I warped very much. I think I probably had very limited warpers at the time, so maybe I didn't have a bunch of them extra. I'm trying to remember the exact circumstances and how they played out. But I basically didn't have the ability just to warp around at will, so I had to very carefully make my way to this transport. And again, there's no way for me to give the warpers to the transport while it's in flight, but I wanted to have the ability to go out and find it. And the fact that that was possible, the fact that I found it, and I did, out in between stars and traveled alongside it as it approached its destination and then flew ahead of it to make sure that the station it was going to dock at would have warpers to give it, was just one of the most overwhelmingly cool sagas of my early time with Dyson Sphere Program that I can recall. Certainly the coolest thing that happened to me during my first playthrough. It's just one of the things that can occur that it's a great example of the game not punishing you necessarily for, you know, doing something a little bit wrong or not having your resources in order, because I was able to fix the problem. It just slowed things down. But it allowed for this really memorable moment of going out and actually finding this transport. It wasn't a lost transport. It was going where it was supposed to go, but it was flying between stars at this very low rate. And I got to go out and find it and make sure that it came home safely. And as I mentioned, I tweeted a ton of screenshots of it because the feeling of actually running alongside it once I found it out in the darkness was just beyond cool. Can't even begin to tell you how awesome it felt. I have got to head back. I really do, because I'm about to run out of fuel. And I'd prefer not to. It gives us an opportunity to let some of these build up. We're going to grab a few while we're here. And also, I'm going to take a peek at our situation and make sure that we are, in fact, filling up. It does seem like maybe we just need more metal production at this point. So, before I leave, let's go ahead and increase the production of this iron mine, because we can double the rate of metal that we're bringing in. Alright, so that's one good spot. The next one is probably going to be something like right there. Perfect. So we'll put that there. And last but not least, we have got to build... You know what? Go ahead and build 10 of them. That's fine. I had 10 queued up as the automatic number, but I think it actually makes sense to have some extra splitters on hand now. So I'm going to join these two together, and then their combined output will go into this one splitter that I've already built. It's not perfectly efficient, but it'll work. And I am going to use, as much as I hate to, I'm going to use these level 2 belts. As happy as I am to have upgraded between belts, I don't want to have a belt that is partially one type. Alright, so this should be more than enough. Besides, once they arrive at this sorter, they'll move at full speed. Alright, let's see if that solved our problem. It's not going to quite solve it until this happens. There we go. Yeah, so now we're definitely seeing metal going down both directions, and we're starting to build up iron. I keep calling it metal. It's iron. That's what it is. But anyway, we're almost out of fuel. I'm going to take this opportunity to fly over the top of the interplanetary logistics station. Technically, it's the interstellar logistics station, but for now, it's just interplanetary. We're not doing the interstellar stuff yet. We are quite close to the completion of our current tech, but it looks like something might have caused a bit of a snag. So we're going to have to find out why that research is not advancing. It could be just due to not having the resources we need for yellow cubes, but that seems unlikely to me. Titanium is fine at the moment. But We are also approaching the 30-minute mark for this episode, so while I'm in flight here, heading back to Alpha Andromedae 2, I'm going to go ahead and stop this episode here. In the next one, we're going to resolve whatever difficulty we're having with our research, and then continue to expand our solar belts while we unlock additional options and prepare for that first flight beyond the Alpha Andromedae system, and maybe starting to seriously think about where our first Dyson swarm and Dyson sphere are going to be. I might do a Dyson swarm here. I might. But we don't have to. We can put it anywhere we want. So we can start making serious decisions about that quite soon. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes are coming out every day at noon, US Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.